For those of us who have become debt-free, at what point in time do we realize, hey, I've busted my butt, say, for decades? When do I determine when can I start splurging with my finances? Buy a little, like a toy or a car or whatever.
Yeah, probably about 5 years ago for you. What happens to us is that we live like no one else so that later we can live and give like no one else, and then we forget to do it.
Okay.
And now it's emotionally hard to loosen up a little bit because you're afraid
Exactly.
you're going to screw it up.
Exactly.
So the rule I use is when I'm working with people who have built some wealth and struggling with that, and sometimes, honestly, Sharon and I struggle with it because our money has grown more than our emotional grasp of it. We still feel like we are worth a lot less than we're actually mathematically worth. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah. And so we have to, what we say is, if we're going to splurge, if we're going to buy something that's just a crazy, what we used to would call a crazy luxury item, like when we were broke people and we would say, no one should ever spend that on that. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, yes.
And you're getting ready to now. You're getting ready to spend that on that, which is very cool. You should buy that car, So the rule of thumb I use is this. What is the ratio of that to my net worth? Okay, let's use an example. Let's pretend you had $1 million in mutual funds in your 401k. How much have you got?
Just in 401k or all total?
All total.
About $1.7 million.
Okay, so let's say you bought a crazy butt $100,000 car. Okay.
Okay.
And you didn't even put insurance on it, and you forgot to set the brake, and it went off the cliff and burned. Now you're worth $1.6 million. Well, whoop-de-doop-de. Now, that's a kind of a bizarre example, but I mean, if you just completely set $100,000 on fire in your backyard and watched it burn, you literally wouldn't change your life at all.
Okay.
But now, if you start talking about you're going to spend $800,000 on something crazy, now that's half your freaking world. We got to stop and think about this one.
This proves to me how cheap I am. I'm just looking at splurging, maybe spending $15,000 on a car.
You're too cheap. You need to go buy that today. This is why you did all this. You've worked your butt off, man. You came from nothing, and you have $1.7 million. Am I right?
Correct.
No one gave you this money. You didn't hit the lottery. You've been working your butt off and being diligent. You've earned the right to enjoy your money.
I used to work 60 hours a week.
Yep, I know.
For years.
You don't get to have $1.7 million working 30 hours a week.